Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
This week's plot so far is by Rose Parsons. Last night in Golden Bus Story, Nigel and Derek discovered that they had a mutual love of homoerotic Nazi films and spent the night sucking each other's gay venom out in a 100-seat cinema. A load of kids talked some rubbish in the all-night shopping precinct, but then Miss Stone appeared and they had to do some hiding. The men ones spent the night gambling with a 6-year-old, and then they all woke up naked in a bathroom full of money and buses. The day was saved, but at what cost? I mean, they weren't naked, right?
No, I don't think so.
Aching and hungover, the teachers argued about whether or not to spend another night in the hotel. Eventually, they decided to run away so they wouldn't have to buy a new swimming pool. So, after a night spent in a hotel causing havoc and winning buses, they've decided to leave. Miss Stone has said, we'd better go before the police catch us.
Yes. We'll look innocent if we run away.
Yeah.
If we stay, we're guilty.
Absolutely, that was her logic, right? This is the end of stage one. According to your manuscript, this is stage one, all right?
Yes, that's the
Stage
best
one
stage.
was go to a gold hotel,
Yeah.
right? So now we're going to start stage two. But also, I notice that there's not actually much of this left. You did give up before you finished it, right?
I did give up.
But don't worry, listener, we will finish this story one way or another. We will not leave you unsatisfied.
We will sate your desire.
We'll sate your desire, yeah. We'll come up with some way of ending it. You know, maybe we'll travel back in time, kidnap young Howard, put him in the cellar, make him finish it. All right, let's get on with it, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right, so now we move on to stage two. And so it was that with a considerable amount more possessions, being mostly money and chocolate.
And buses? Come on, don't forget the
you've
fucking
forgotten-
buses.
You have forgotten about the buses, I think. Anyway, they've got a considerable amount.
Suddenly having 12 buses
Yeah.
warrants mentioning, right?
Well, you need something to carry all this money and chocolate, right? So
Right,
put it
yeah.
on one of your extra buses and get what I don't know, get the other teachers to drive them, I suppose. You got 4 adults, right?
Not,
Four adults?
not enough people to drive 12 buses.
No, but you could take 4 and give the others to charity.
Yeah.
Stick the others in the charity
Yeah,
collection
yeah,
tin
but yeah,
if it's
yeah,
not full of
that's true.
crisps. All right, so with
It is, though. We know that.
yeah, we do know that. With a considerable amount more possessions, I do like the phrasing there. With a considerable amount more possessions, being mostly money and chocolate, the teachers, pupils, and driver picked the most luxury bus. Here we go. No,
Okay.
they picked the most luxury bus.
Luxurious.
The one that had a toilet on, maybe.
Yeah.
And
No, it's just fucking gold, isn't it?
the
I picked the
goldest
gold
bus.
one. The slowest bus.
Yeah.
The slow,
the
rubbish
goldest,
gold bus.
diamondest bus.
Most uncomfortable
Yeah.
gold seats with diamond crustaceans. Crustaceans. Yeah.
Diamond crabs walking around on
Sideways.
this bus. Yeah. Diamond crabs wandering around, pinching your feet. They're going, all right.
diamond crabs.
Admittedly, this is the least comfortable bus, but look how luxury it is.
Yeah, luxury it is.
So they picked the most luxury bus and climbed aboard. He would retire, Rafe had decided, perhaps open up his own coaching service. After all, Carlos had given him the other 11 coaches and a considerable amount of money.
Wow.
Why has Carlos given him a considerable amount of money if he's already given him 11 coaches? He's like, here you go, have 11 coaches and a bag of money. Why? Do you what does he want? What does Carlos want? Like, now you owe me a favor. I will ask for it at some point in the future when you are least expecting it.
I don't know. I don't know how much money how much money did they win?
A considerable amount he's given him. I don't know. How
He won
much it was.
£10,000 on the fruit machine,
Did he?
but then he must have spent more on the roulette. So maybe he's won millions of pounds.
But
I
he
don't know
won
why
the
to
roulette.
that. Maybe it's because they're pals. They're fast pals now.
Maybe they must be.
Carlos had no friends before.
yeah.
Carlos is a loner in this instance, and now he's found some friends amongst the adults.
Yeah, the only connection he's really had is with those twins who made him piss in a balloon and then threw it at Rafe, in fact.
Yeah.
So he's probably, maybe he feels bad about the balloon incident. He's like, here, have 12 buses. And a bag of money.
Or maybe he's like, Ginger Beasting or Henry Rollins, and like, and
he was really turned on by that.
And like,
It's awakened something in this 6-year-old mind.
you know, he fancies Rafe, so that's why he put his piss all over him, and like, you know, giving him money, he thinks like, you know, $1 million, you'll sleep with me. It's like indecent proposal.
Well, he tried the 12 buses first. He's like, here are 12 buses. And Rafe's all like, oh, thanks, mate. And he's like, would you like to do anything about the buses?
Yeah.
I'll probably drive them, mate. Here is a bag of money.
Yeah.
Would you like to do anything to me now?
Or maybe he's not allowed to own buses because of his name. I know buses aren't cars.
What is a car?
Well, that's what it's got 4 wheels and goes rum rum rum.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, in a train, right? Trains have cars, right?
Yes.
But they also call them coaches.
That's true,
right?
yeah.
So is a coach a car? I mean,
It
this
is.
especially if you're French, like
Well,
Carlos
the bus
is.
has got 4 wheels and goes rum rum rum, so that is a car, right?
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, if you're French, like Carlos is, right, then you're not totally sure. You're like, well, they call trains cars and coaches, so clearly cars and coaches are the same thing.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be called Carlos, I can't be owning coaches. Mm-hmm. Someone will be like, you're owning a load of cars.
Yes.
He's worried about it.
Yeah, because he's got a box of toy cars. It's got a bus in there. He's like, well, that's a car then, isn't it?
Yep, makes sense.
It's got a box of toy cars. It's got Superman in it. That's a car then.
Yeah, supercar, yeah.
I play with
Absolutely.
my car, Superman.
Is it a bird? Is it a car?
Yeah, the car. Hey! So he had to give the buses away, but like then he
Yeah.
gave him some money to. He was like, "Oh, you've got to look after. I can't have these cars. So you take them. So here's some money to look after them."
Yeah, he thinks that he doesn't realise that he's doing Rafe a favour by giving him all the buses.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got to get rid of these buses, otherwise I have to change my name.
Yes.
Quick, who can I give them to? Rafe's there. Then I could probably take them off your hands, mate. He's like, oh, you're so kind. Let me give you this bag of money to say thank you.
Yeah.
And Rafe's going, yeah, okay, yeah, I suppose I am pretty kind. Let me put that bag of money on one of my buses.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the gold one with all the crabs. Diamond encrusted crabs walking around.
Yeah.
They can protect my money.
Yeah.
All right, well that's that sentence worked out then.
Good.
Sometimes I mean, this is the thing about your prose, isn't it? It's so dense. There's so much going on.
It's dense,
Who'd have,
all right, yeah.
who'd have known? Yeah, I mean, you're so dense, right?
Yeah.
Because who'd have known? Just the sentence, Carlos had given him the other 11 coaches and a considerable amount of money.
Yeah.
Would have so much information hidden behind it. All right. So these thoughts and more drifted through his mind as he started up the motor. I love the little lines like that in your story. These, like the little linking lines that you don't realise aren't necessary.
They are.
Where you like,
Segue, innit?
this is what he was thinking while he did a thing. It's really, I just say he did the thing. We know he was thinking that, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, but you don't know about the other things he's thinking that I've mentioned. And
The more, yeah.
The more, yeah.
All right. So what are the more?
Well,
this is the Cliff Notes
This is
moment.
where
We've
Cliff
gotta-
Notes has to get in
yeah.
there and say like.
So we know what these thoughts were, but what are the more?
Like Cliff Notes would be like, well, obviously, what the other things that he's thinking about is what are all these diamond crabs doing on my bus? Probably for a start.
Principally, how am I going to drive while being attacked by diamond crabs?
And how is this bus even going to go anywhere since it's made of gold and really fucking heavy? And
has it got an engine?
yeah,
Or is it just a decorative bus?
and if all the petrol's made from gold,
Yeah.
is that
That doesn't work.
that
That's
work?
not how internal combustion engines work. You can't put gold in them and hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bus, is it? It's a crab cage. It's
Yeah.
a gold crab cage.
massive gold crab cage?
So probably one of the things he's thinking is, I should probably get off this bus and get on one of the others that are actually buses. So that's what the more is. That's good. Feel free to help yourself at the bar, Rafe yelled back.
Oh yeah, it's a luxury bus.
It's a luxury bus. It hasn't got a toilet,
It's got-
but it has got a casino
It's got a
in
bar, it's got a casino, it's got a swimming pool,
Yeah,
it's got a bookshop, it's
it. Yeah, it's
got a lift, but they're not working currently because for some reason they're
someone's done
stuck on the
something.
roof.
Yeah, we don't know why. It's got 150 bedrooms. Oh no, hang on, I got confused. I'm trying to drive the hotel.
Yeah.
Everyone in the bus. Now, feel free to help yourself at the bar, Rafe yelled back, and then switched on the televisions and put on a horror story video much to the objections of Ms. Stone, who said children should not watch such things. But Rafe had said the film was a PG. This is a lot of information, isn't it?
Yes, a PG, it's alright.
Whereupon Ms. Stone had remarked that the children had not brought their parents, which resulted in a "thank heavens" from the pupils and shouting from Rafe, who told Ms. Stone that he and she would...
Get it on. Get it on.
No. That he and she would one day,
Get it on.
when he wasn't so busy, investigate the true meaning behind the words parental guidance.
Yeah, they're gonna, one day the two of them will sit down and investigate the true meaning of the words parental guidance.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
It means that that the parents have got to make the decision.
Well, no, I think what he's saying is that, the term parental guidance doesn't mean that you actually have to have your parent there. It just means you need an adult with you. But, for some reason, they chose the word parental,
Yeah.
which...
Which is true. Like your supervising adult should decide.
But, I mean, that supervising adult may not have children, so they're not a parent. I'm not allowed to take a 12-year-old to see a porno because, I've not got children of my own.
And because porno's on PG rating. It's very rare that...
Penis good rating.
Hardcore
Penis
pornography.
grow rating. Yeah, that's what PG stands for.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can take kids in.
Yeah.
Perhaps it wasn't going to be as bad as Tom Haining had thought. He'd been expecting some hellish school trip. Admittedly, it had started out rather bad with that balloon business, but it had got better now that he'd come to think about it. It might have seemed bad at the time.
But no, it was not bad at the time.
And he'd probably been asleep through the good bits.
What?
But he'd come out of it a wealthy man.
Oh.
No longer with a general distaste for the children.
He's rich as well. Isn't he?
Even Rafe, he realised, was enjoying himself and had told...
Of course he was. He's got 12 buses and a coaching
And a bag of
service and a
money.
bag of money.
And a load of crabs.
Yeah, he's got a fucking load of diamond crabs wandering around his head. Just clambering around him.
Yeah, he's loving it. And Rafe had told Tom that he would like to come along for the boat journey.
Oh, right, yeah. We're going to drive
So
it, mate.
basically, what we're learning from this is that the teachers, Tom and Rafe,
Yeah.
formerly hated every minute of it. They hated the kids, they hated the trip.
Yeah.
They were really annoyed. Then they got a bag of money each,
yeah.
and now they're happy. And
Yeah,
now they're
that's what
I love
happiness
kids.
is. That's what happiness is, and that's my understanding of it as a
Yeah,
child, is that
okay.
money makes you happy.
Doesn't buy you happiness. Money is happiness.
Is happiness.
Yeah. To think, Rafe had hated the children to begin with, and now he wanted to go on holiday with them. Yeah, I'd be more worried about this. Oh no, it's something. After spending that night in a hotel with the kids, suddenly I like them or want to go on holiday with them. All right, Rafe, I don't think we should take you.
Yeah, on a
Rafe Dix.
boat as well.
Ms. Stone would have disagreed. She was having a dreadful time and detested all the children. Back when she'd just started teaching, she had enjoyed herself. However, her enjoyment had not lasted. She had discovered that the children she taught at a high school were rude, cheeky, and very irritating. So she'd taken a job at a junior school, where children were not yet turned to rudeness and being chunky.
Being chunky.
Cheeky, okay.
Well, they were still thin and nice.
Yeah.
Before they all grew up to be fat and
Fat
annoying.
and rude, but like Greta Binchley.
Yeah.
What do you mean I've put you off teaching? No, it says she'd taken a job at a junior school where children were not yet turned to rudeness and being cheeky. No, instead they were just animals escaped from a zoo. All right, that's not a junior school. She's got a job next to a zoo.
Yeah.
Near a hole in a zoo.
It could have been a school next to a zoo.
Yeah. With a
Well, they
hole.
evacuated all the children.
Yeah, just all the animals walking around. She walked in and went,
She did not get the memo that
right,
day.
you monkeys. You just
She needs fucking glasses though if she can't tell the difference between a zebra and a 5-year-old. Stop being stripy and shitting everywhere! Hold on a second.
Brent was writing, and the two highly intelligent children, Catherine and Buck, were helping him.
Who?
Right, Catherine and Buck, they were the ones who were having a conversation about astrophysics
Right.
at the back of the bus
Okay.
as a joke,
Right.
and then haven't been in it since. Like, They
Yeah.
haven't even been mentioned except for that one moment, and now they're back. Pretty exciting.
They'd never got off the bus.
Okay, let me read it back to you, said Brent. It drifted backwards and then forwards, never ceasing in its endless toil. It was not an artifact, but a machine. Not a robot nor an android, but a cyborg. It was ageless, but had once been a she. It's only real human living parts now, with a brain and heart and lungs and legs and arms and its head and also its shoulders and its toes.
And its shoes.
Yeah. Really, it just had a false hip. It was just an old lady who had a replacement hip, but she was a cyborg. No, it's only real human living parts now with a brain and heart and lungs. And even they were borrowed. Alright, so it's a cyborg whose only real living human parts are its brain, heart and lungs. And they were borrowed, so there's someone else's brain. Right, yeah, okay. So this woman, like Susan the cyborg or whatever, alright, she's got all her replacement bits, and then eventually she's gone, I don't really like my brain, no, could I have a new brain? Yeah, here you go, here's John's brain. Okay, thanks very much. Now am I Susan still?
Yeah.
Susan the cyborg? Am I now John the cyborg?
Yeah, Susan
with John's brain. Meanwhile, at the back of the bus, the shop had shut up for the day. Now, Amy sat with Nigel and Marcus. Derek was asleep, and Jenny was reading a book elsewhere, like on a different bus.
Yeah. Plenty of them.
Yeah. They were helping Amy rehearse for the school play. What did you say your brother's name was? Read Marcus. Karim Mustarafan, said Amy. Karim Mustarafan? No, silly, Karim Mustarafan. Not a very good play, is it? Remarked Nigel. Well, I think it's very good, said Marcus. Only because you're doing the main part. Not for real. Shut up, you two. Let's continue. Now we kiss. She's moving in. She's moving in on Marcus.
No.
Amy is. So not as much as this. No, we kiss.
Oh, it's going to make Jenny jealous, this.
Yeah. Go on then, suggested Nigel. What? Exclaimed Marcus. He doesn't have to. We're only rehearsing. And he's not really playing the part of John.
Ah,
Because we haven't got any Johns in this yet. No,
they're reading one of my Doctor Who scripts,
yeah,
aren't they?
absolutely. Like,
That's why he said
playing
this is a
John.
shit play.
Yeah, he's playing John, she's playing John, Marcus, everyone's playing John. John walks up to John and tells him that John's outside to talk to John. So, it'll add to the mood. You know, I mean, you can't get all romantic properly if you don't do what the book says. Okay, agreed Amy.
Whee!
Go on then, Marcus. Kiss me.
Yeah, because it's really sexy now.
Yeah. I, stammered Marcus. Go on, said Nigel.
Yeah, go on, do it.
Right. Marcus leant over and kissed Amy on the cheek.
Oh, what a letdown.
Nigel sighed. It says here, he pointed to the book, it's a long kiss and it's on the lips.
Tongues, it's
I
tongues.
don't think I can do that. Yes, you must do what it says.
Yeah.
Oh well, thought Marcus. Here goes nothing. And he kissed her. So this is where you gave up on this story.
Ah.
But we've just got a few pages left. And the final section is called Really In and Around Plymouth Town.
Wow.
Because the last section was called In and Around Plymouth Town, and then it wasn't. So I guess you planned that, like you wrote the title before you wrote the chapter, and then it never quite got that far.
What I think would have happened I would have realised that I'd never been to Plymouth, and so I was like, but I know what a bus is like. I've been on one of them, so let's stay on the bus and just never, whatever we do under any circumstances, let's not get to Plymouth, because then I'm going to have to describe what a seagull is or something.
So you think this chapter never gets there either? Have you been to Plymouth since?
I don't even know if that's a real place or whether I made it up.
It's a real place, yeah.
Where is it? France?
Yeah, it's in France, yeah.
Okay, I've been to
it's in the really
Paris.
far southwestern corner of France.
Yeah, the hot bit.
Yeah. You've been to Paris? What did you do in Paris when you went? Did you like Paris?
No, not especially, no.
Where did you stay? Did you stay in a hotel? Was it a nice hotel?
I don't remember.
No, weirdly, I went to Paris for at least a weekend, the last time I went to Paris, and I have no memory of where I stayed at all. Like, I didn't even know if it was a hotel or a hostel. I have no picture of that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you which arrondissement I was staying in or anything like that.
I can barely tell you what one is.
It's a villain from Doctor Who, isn't it? Oh no, Leela, the arrondissements, they're coming for us. What is this arrondissement, Doctor Who? Why are there 8 of them in France? Yeah, I don't know, Leela. You'll have to ask French people that. I am not French. Just occasionally I sound a bit French.
But I'm definitely not from France.
I don't know. Are there 8? There's 12. There's 12 arrondissements.
No idea. There's a certain number. Say the sentence again, and then I'll patch it in.
Okay. What was the sentence?
I don't know.
Arrondissements.
Yeah, that. I'll just put that in.
Patch that in. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. I've been to some Frenchy places. I went to Paris. It was kind of like...
Yeah, I went to Paris.
It was dark. It was night time. It was.
I was really disappointed when I went to Paris. It was dark.
Listen, I had the experience I had in Paris that I've had in most of Europe that we've had conversations about before. Is that there's no food there other than ham and fucking cheese sandwiches.
I think
sometimes hot ones. But that's fucking it.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I think because I mean I hear my students all the time talking about how their impression of food, and they always say that
their impression of food is like I have a cheese and ham sandwich. Put me in a toaster.
That's all they think food is. I'm like, can you do a different food? And they're like, no, that's the only food I know. I'm from France. No. They always say that British food is terrible, all right, and I always want to fight them. I get really defensive about this, and I don't get defensive about much.
Because we don't have many shops that sell cheese and ham sandwiches.
That is one possibility, that we don't have enough cheese and ham sandwiches. Or when they go to Tesco to get a sandwich, because all they ever do is go to Tesco, and this is what I get really annoyed about. I'm like, well, what English food have you had? Is it Tesco food? You've discovered that Tesco food is rubbish, have you? Congratulations, yes. Now, why don't you paint the whole of the UK with Tesco's brush, Tesco's rubbish brush, and because they're comparing like their mum's cooking and their favourite restaurant in their country that after they've tested loads of restaurants and found the best one that they like the most with Tesco, and then they're going, oh, English food's rubbish. And so I get annoyed with them for that. But I was also thinking, like, our impression of like European food is that it's rubbish, and it's the same thing, right? Because what we're doing is, like, I don't know, certainly when I go to somewhere like Paris, I'm looking for the cheapest possible food because Paris is hella expensive, right?
No, it's not. No.
Okay, because I was thinking, like,
I've been as a
in posh restaurants and they've given you a menu and it just says ham and cheese sandwiches.
In my fucking youth, I've been to some posh places around the world, and it's always it's always a cheese and ham sandwich. In some different form sometimes.
Maybe someone's having a joke with you. Like your parents are playing a massive prank on you.
Okay, to be fair, I mean, like, Japan's not in Europe, but I mean...
true.
I went to Japan, I went to one restaurant, and their idea of cuisine was like, they just...
Didn't bother cooking it?
No, they brought you lamb, right? Just bits of lamb and a bowl of salt. And that was all they did in that restaurant. Wow. It was like bits of lamb that you dip in salt. I mean,
just various bits of lamb. So like
I liked that.
You get
that was better than a cheese and ham sandwich.
You get like a lamb shank for the starter and a lamb steak for the main course and a lamb trotter for dessert, right?
Yeah. No, you just get little slices of lamb. But, we've had the conversation because I did have that pizza in
with
Rome.
Carrots on it, right?
Yeah, with carrots on it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a cheese and ham sandwich.
No,
pizza with carrots on, that's almost the opposite of a cheese. You want a cheese and ham sandwich at that stage.
Yeah, I did do. Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Where's my cheese and ham
sandwich? What was I thinking? Ordering something that wasn't a cheese and ham sandwich. That's my own fault.
Yeah. Well, that's why cheese and ham sandwiches are so popular in mainland Europe, because the alternative really is horrendous.
Yeah.
And in some ways, a pizza is a cheese and ham sandwich, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you do have, most pizzas are cheese and some form of pork, right? With bread. And what is that except a cheese and ham sandwich? It's a really nice one. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love pizza, but I mean, a pepperoni pizza, that's just a cheese and ham sandwich.
Listen, I'm not saying that, like, if you go into a restaurant and like that you can't get some fucking chicken. I mean, that does happen. But, it's not brilliant. It's not like the best chicken in the world. It's just like a bit of chicken with some potatoes next to it. It's like, all right, well done, congratulations. You've successfully not served me a croque monsieur, but But that's just, I mean, that's chicken and potatoes. I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that difficult. You're going to say English food is bad, but we can cook all your food.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if English food's bad. We can cook all the food.
Yeah, well,
like,
what
we
makes
know we know how to make curry and chili and like
what
sushi and
yeah.
like we can do all that stuff. We can also make pies and mash and fish and chips.
Because what makes food English anyway? I mean, like, does the animal have to be born here or what?
I don't know. Well, I mean, if it's like sandwiches, but like everyone eats
I mean,
sandwiches.
we have fish in England, so therefore sushi is English, right?
Yeah, fish is well, fish. You know, we just happen to batter it and deep fry it. That's and in many ways, I think that's better than not bothering to cook it in the first place and wrapping it in a leaf.
Maybe the thing about Europe is that they only have pigs and cows, so that's why everything's cheese and ham. Now, I don't think other animals. If you want to get a bit of lamb, you're like fucked. You got to go to Wales or New Zealand if you want lamb.
They do have so it's cheese and ham if you're poor, and you might be able to get beef.
Cheese and ham if you're
richer.
cheese and ham if you're pork.
If you're pork, yeah. If you're into pork, but you might get beef if you really go uptown because they've got cows.
No, French people they call us roast boeuf, don't they? They think that's hilarious. They don't eat cows in France.
I think that's because they don't roast it; they eat it raw. They
right.
just bite cows. In a sandwich, usually. They stick it in a sandwich and then they go, this sandwich has a cow in it. Take it to cow and I will have the cheese and ham.
If you're a vegetarian in Europe, then they're completely fucking confused. Like, well, I've been a vegetarian,
right.
A half-eyed one in my time. But I was like in Italy and being a vegetarian, and they were like, oh, I don't know what to feed you then.
Yeah, I remember being in places like Paris and going into shops and all they had were cheese and ham sandwiches or cafes, and you go, is it possible to get this sandwich without the ham?
Yeah,
and that's just the most shocking idea. Like you've
just
said,
fucking arrived from Mars. And
yeah,
like,
and
what
you
is
said,
this alien talking
Can
about?
I have this sandwich without the bread?
Yeah.
Is that level? Isn't it? You go, well, what you mean? Just a bit of cheese and ham?
Oh, I suppose you would like me to take away this cheese and this bread as well. I give you this air sandwich.
No, I want the cheese and bread.
No, here's that air sandwich you ordered. Would you like a serviette with it? An invisible serviette?
It's not even a sandwich with no bread. It's an air nutwich.
British people.
You British people with your crazy food.
Always putting cows in your mouths.
Yeah.
What is your problem?
And that's the kind of... I think that's where this idea that British food is terrible or weird comes from, because we're these crazy people who turn up in Paris saying, could we have your one type of sandwich slightly different, please? Is there any chance of like having, I don't know, some ketchup on it or some kind of flavour? Yeah. No, it's just white bread, cheese and boring ham and no choice. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, France. Well done.
Yeah. Put some milk in your coffee, you cunts.
Yeah, that was in Amsterdam and all over Europe as well. You ask for tea with milk and they ask you 3 times if you're sure. You're like, I'd like a cup of tea, please, and could you bring me some milk? And they're like, milk? And their English is perfect. So
it comes out of that thing you get cheese from. Cheese, you like cheese, don't you?
It's like 80% of your diet.
That's why they get confused, because if you ask for milk, they're thinking, does he want ham in it as well? Does he want some ham in his tea? It's that weird British people. Come over here, want cheese and ham in their tea.
Now we've established that all food in the world except English food is rubbish.
So you've got yourself your cheese and ham sandwich. You've got a cup of tea with like no milk in. You're ready to
some cheese and
listen.
A pig's trotter floating about. Yeah. I'm ready to get started. I think.
So sit back and enjoy episode chapter.
Well,
this.
it doesn't have a chapter number, but it says in and around Plymouth town.
For reals.
Come on, my group, called Ms. Stone. They were on the cobbled streets of Plymouth, staring at the ye old sweet jar shop. May we go into some sweetsmith, please? This is supposed to be an educational tour. Yes. What do you mean, yes? Well, began Derek, just because it's an education tour doesn't mean we can't visit a sweet shop. It's a weird conclusion.
Yeah.
It does when I'm the leader. Now come along. The pupils followed her. Don't worry, Derek, said Polly. I have a portable shop inside this carrier bag. so she's gone mental. I've got me own back shop. Do you want to go to my shop?
I've got a portable shop in his bag.
Yeah. She opened the bag she was carrying. Wow! Exclaimed Derek.
Looking at the shop.
Yeah. Would you care to make a purchase? All proceeds to charity. Yes, sure. And so Derek picked out the items of food he wanted and gave Polly the money. Brilliant. Excellent. Another excellent scene by Howard there. The buying from the bag shop scene. Yeah. What did he buy? We don't know. The items that he wanted.
He picked out the items that he wanted and he paid for them.
And he paid for them and he left.
With money from his pocket.
Derek returned to Nigel and Jenny, who walked along in a group.
Yeah, there's two people in a group.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to go out with either of us? Nigel was saying. So he's a persuasive guy.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to go out with me? I've got a big penis.
Yeah, with either of us, though.
Yeah. No? Okay, what about my friend?
Well, I don't mind if you don't suck mine, but you could suck his, maybe.
How can you say no to both of them?
We've been denied this sweet shop. I've got a stick of rock and so's he.
Yeah. I could dip it in sugar if you like. Yeah.
I'll have some of your sticks of rock if you don't mind, said Gret Benchley.
Well, any port in a storm. I've already told you that I don't. Why not? Asked Derek.
Why not? Yeah, you fucking...
Well, neither of you is my type. And besides, there's someone else. You're already going out with someone? No, but I fancy someone else.
Fancy.
Oh. No.
Oh. Is it me?
Yeah.
Of course it is. I'm irresistible to women.
Yeah. No, not yet. He hasn't gone through that adventure yet. He's been utterly ignored by everyone on this adventure. Oh. Who? Marcus.
Well, she told him.
Derek choked on the Mars bar he was presently engaged in eating.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What a brilliant sentence. Derek choked on the Mars bar he was currently occupied with the eating thereof.
Consumption.
Brilliant. Marcus? Yeah, Wayne, hey Wayne. I dig you a lot. Marcus? It's exactly the same. Marcus? Asked Nigel incredulously. Yes, why? What's wrong with that? Well, I'm afraid he's not, vacant.
Not vacant?
What?
Someone inside him taking a shit.
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's a...
Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't find a toilet, so I just entered this boy.
Arthur just climbed in his mouth and started taking a crap. Marcus is dead now. I look at him. He's fallen to pieces on the floor. Man.
Well, said Gret, when nature calls.
Gret Benchley answers. No, that's not what Nigel says. Nigel says...
You know, his surname was Peabody. I thought, if you can pee in his body, maybe you could take a shit in there as well.
Marcus Shit Stomach, I call him. All right, so I'm afraid...
said Marcus, and then
died. Yeah, full of Gret Benchley shit.
Yeah.
I'm afraid he's
I'm not the only one around who's full of shit, said Gret Benchley. He is now. Mine, specifically.
No, so Nigel actually says, I'm afraid he's not vacant. What? He's going out with Amy. Because they snogged at the end of the last chapter.
Oh, right.
Who knows if it's true?
Oh, I thought Amy was Jenny. That's how well drawn these characters are.
But I'm doing such convincingly different accents. One of them's Scottish.
Yeah, but that's
one
a while
of them's
ago.
not
Oh, is
Scottish.
it? So Amy
is Scottish.
The
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
And Marcus was like chatting up Jenny, and they went to a bookshop together.
Marcus and Jenny seem to be getting together, but then they did that play at the end of the last chapter, and the play said that Marcus had to kiss Amy, and it ended with them doing it. And I guess either Nigel is lying because he wants Jenny, or something's happened between chapters we haven't seen.
It's just, well, I suppose it's a natural assumption if you see, a girl and a boy snogging that you think they're probably dating.
Yeah, in a play. If you see two actors snogging,
they're not on. They weren't on stage. They were on a bus.
Yeah, but they were rehearsing a play.
Was Nigel there with them?
I think so.
Was that him saying you've got a snog?
I think so.
Ah, so he's lying then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the liar as well, right?
Yeah, he's the.
Didn't you say that he went to Dover in a inflatable submarine once?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, in a big gold submarine. Okay, so yeah, he's probably lying. No, wait, there's a new section, and the first words are, "It was true."
Oh, well. Probably should have read that.
So thanks, past Howard. Thanks for telling us, because we did need to know that.
Yeah, thanks, present Rufus, for being unable to, see one line ahead.
Yeah, well, I can't read. It takes me a long time to read your writing. I have to focus on it.
No, I'm glad you didn't see. No.
Yeah. It was true. Marcus walked along with Amy's hand in his.
In his what?
Huh?
In his what?
In his pocket. He was in love. Mr. Parker's group had not been so fortunate, and they were inside Plymouth Museum.
Yeah.
Museum of Plymouth.
That exists.
It probably does. Being lectured on large cucumbers. I don't think that says.
The large cucumber museum. Welcome to the large cucumber museum.
Anchors.
Large anchors.
Yeah. Being lectured on large anchors. Not. I thought it was
That's my understanding of Plymouth. Then it's by the sea.
Yeah.
Anchors. They got
anchors and rusty, hardly recognisable cannons. So yeah, cannons and anchors. That's what you get.
Maybe I've been to Plymouth.
Maybe.
I mean, for me to have such disguised
Detailed
vitriol
knowledge,
towards it, it's kind of I was fucking off.
Yeah. Did you ever get a boat to Spain or Portugal or anything like that?
We got one called the Sea Demon once, and what happened was I got on it with this prince who just won loads of money on the roulette, and then we went
buses.
Yeah, and
he had 12 buses.
And halfway across we got
made
picked
of
up by a spaceship, meant to space.
Space. Brilliant. Okay.
That's why it's
Spoilers.
a space. That's why it's a spaceship. It's not a spaceship, it's a spaceship. So we went to space in it.
Okay. The twins were annoying the museum
Wow.
attendant. Okay. The twins were annoying the museum attendant. Amy and Anne were having a bitching match. In inverted commas. We're having a bitching match,
Really?
like girls do.
A bitching match.
Which involved hurling insults at each other, getting increasingly personal and more crude each time. And Marcus was trying to examine Amy's legs through her tights.
Oh.
Nice.
With a magnifying glass? Or?
Yeah. Some minutes later, the group was thrown out of the museum.
Is she wearing her tights, or does it just mean that
He's
he's put them on his head?
Yeah.
He's trying to examine her legs.
He's like, do you know what? I think it'd be easier to see your legs if I took your tights off my head. Yes, that probably would be a good idea. I mean, I took my tights off so you could look at my legs, and you immediately put my tights on your head, which destroyed the point of me taking them off in the first place. Aren't you a bit warm in those tights, Amy?
Brilliant.
Shut up and follow me, Ken voiced loudly. Ken voiced loudly, and...
You're a bit warm in those clothes. Aren't you warm in those tits? Do you want to take your tits off? Get you...
Shut up and follow me, Ken voiced loudly, and strode off, the children running to keep up. The end.
What?
That is the end. There is no more. How will this story get an end if young Howard never finished it? Will we just give up and stop the story here? Or will some surprise ghostwriter step in to finish it?
Bruce Willis.
Find out next week on the...
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you find yourself wondering, hey, who's this Gret Binchleaf character they keep talking about? Well, he's the star of one of our other shows called, surprisingly, Gret Binchleaf Private Eye, which you can find on the British Comedy Guide, can't you, Howard?
No.
No, you can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, search Gret Binchleaf or look on the British Comedy Guide. Do, usual places.
How do you spell that? How you spelling Gret Binchleaf?
With a G.
Yeah, me too.
Mostly with a G. If you've already heard all the Gret Binchleaf, then maybe you should consider joining our secret gang, which has exclusive Gret Binchleaf stories, with a new one coming this Tuesday. Check out this exciting trailer for it.
This week on the Man by Cow Secret Gang.
Are you here about the receptionist's job?
Said Gret, bearing down on the man.
No. Pity. This one stopped taking notation about a year ago.
Oh no.
I can't decide if she's lazy or dead.
He should get an expert like Ohio Grant in to tell him.
He wouldn't, he'd just eat it.
Yeah, but that's
Be
how
like,
you know. Basically, you get Ohio Grant round, and if he eats your secretary, she's definitely dead.
A brand new Gret Binchleaf adventure exclusive to the gang.
My name is Nick Darnold, said Nick Darnold. Gret lowered his eyebrows. My, what a wholly unique name, said Gret. So exotic. I tell you what, Nick Donald, I once met a Nickety Knob Donald do. I shared a flight with a Nicky Donald over. I even met some crazy penis thief called the Nickel Witch. But I've never encountered a name so brief, so precise, so normal. You must be from not around here.
I'm from a distant realm, known as Man by Cow Secret Gang Donir, Vil World Land.
So, do you, come here often?
Said Gret.
To this shed?
Maybe Nick was mistaken, but it seemed like Gret was coming onto him.
No, of course not, silly me.
Said Gret, coyly, or scratching his arse.
What am I like?
Just one of many stories only available to the Secret Gang.
You're probably thinking, for Gret Bitchley. He's far too cool and handsome to care about equalness. Well, an old acquaintance of mine gave me an equalness chart to teach me all about equalness. It's very comprehensive. Pretty much everything there is equal. Birds, dolphins, people, all the same level of equalness. In fact, there's only really one thing less than equal.
Find out what's less than equal by signing up now at manbycow.com.